Matt's ex-wife revealed share announcement right now. And now Karen Chandler angry. Matt Roloff finally arrested. I will explain everything. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're a fan of Little People, Big World, or you've been following the Roloff family drama over the years, then today's update is definitely going to catch your attention. There's been a lot going on behind the scenes with Matt Roloff, his ex-wife Amy Roloff, and his longtime girlfriend Karen Chandler. Today, we're diving into a surprising announcement made by Amy Roloff and the confirmation that Karen Chandler is now officially divorced. Let's break it all down. So first, let's go back a bit to remind everyone of the history between these three. Matt and Amy Roloff were married for nearly 30 years. They were one of TLC's most well-known couples, thanks to Little People, Big World. They raised 4 kids together and built Roloff Farms into a successful business. But, as we saw over many seasons of the show, their relationship started to fall apart. There were a lot of differences in how they approached life, parenting, and even business. Eventually, they divorced in 2016. Now here's where things got complicated. Not too long after the split, Matt started dating Karen Chandler, who had worked on Roloff Farms for years. In fact, she had been the farm manager and knew the family pretty well. Naturally, that raised a few eyebrows, especially because some fans speculated that there may have been something going on between Matt and Karen before the divorce. While Matt and Karen have denied anything inappropriate, fans have always wondered if that relationship started earlier than they admitted. Amy herself has spoken in past interviews and on the show about how difficult that situation was for her. She's mentioned feeling hurt and betrayed. It wasn't just about Matt moving on, it was who he moved on with. Now fast forward to today. Amy Roloff just shared something that has people talking. On her social media, she posted a heartfelt message that didn't name names, but fans are convinced it's about Matt and Karen. In the post, she talked about letting go of past pain, moving forward, and embracing a new chapter. She also hinted that she's finally ready to speak more openly about what really happened during the end of her marriage, and how Karen played a role in that. The timing of her message is interesting because just hours later, it was confirmed that Karen Chandler is now officially divorced. This might come as a surprise to some because a lot of fans assumed Karen had been divorced long ago. After all, she and Matt have been together for years now. But it turns out, Karen's divorce only recently became final. According to several sources, the paperwork was finalized earlier this week, and it's now public record. So, what does this mean? Well, let's look at what we know. Matt and Karen have been dating since at least 2017. That means they were in a serious relationship while Karen was still legally married to someone else. Again, they haven't shared many details about Karen's previous marriage, and TLC never really focused on her personal life before Matt. But now that the divorce is official, it opens up some new questions about where things are headed for her and Matt. In fact, some fans are already speculating that a wedding could be next. Matt has hinted before that he and Karen are thinking about the future. In past episodes of Little People, Big World, they've discussed moving to Arizona, possibly retiring there and building a new life together. Karen has also talked about wanting to take things slow, especially given all the attention their relationship has gotten. But now that her divorce is finalized, the path is clear for them to move forward, without any legal or emotional baggage from the past. So going back to Amy's announcement today, is it just a coincidence that she posted that message the same day Karen's divorce became public? Some fans think Amy knew what was coming and wanted to get ahead of the headlines. Others think she may finally feel free to share her side of the story now that Karen is no longer married to someone else. Maybe she's been holding back out of respect for legal issues, or just trying to avoid stirring up drama. Whatever the reason, it's clear that Amy is in a different place now. She's happily remarried to Chris Merrick, and they've built a nice life together. She still appears on the show from time to time, and she stays active on social media, connecting with fans, cooking, and sharing her thoughts on life after divorce. But at the same time, you can tell there are still some wounds that haven't fully healed. That's understandable. When you spend decades with someone, build a family, and then see them move on, especially with someone who is in your life already, that's not easy to forget. And when it all happens in the public eye, it makes things even harder. Now, as for Matt and Karen, Sources say they're spending more time in Arizona and considering spending less time at the farm. That's a big shift from the early seasons of Little People, Big World, when Roloff Farms was the center of everything. These days, it seems like everyone is going their own way. Amy has moved off the farm and started her new life. Matt is thinking about retirement. Karen is officially divorced. And the kids, well, they've got their own families now. So what's next? Will Matt and Karen finally tie the knot now that nothing is standing in the way? Will Amy speak out more directly about what really happened in the final years of her marriage? Will there be a new season of Little People, Big World that covers all this drama? We'll have to wait and see. But one thing is for sure, this story is far from over. It's been a whirlwind time for Matt Roloff, and things just got even more surprising. After years of moving on from his past and building a new life with his now ex-fiancée Karen Chandler, Matt has found himself reconnecting with someone from his past, someone fans never expected to see him spending time with again, his ex-wife, Amy Roloff. Now, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, no, Matt and Amy aren't getting back together. But the two have been spotted more and more lately, spending time together, especially in the wake of Matt's recent breakup with Karen. And for longtime fans of Little People, Big World, this is definitely unexpected. Let's rewind for a second. Matt and Amy Roloff were married for nearly 30 years before they officially divorced in 2016. Together, they raised 4 children, ran the famous Roloff Farms, and were the heart of their long-running TLC show. But over the years, cracks began to show in their marriage. They eventually decided to go their separate ways, and both started new relationships. Amy married Chris Merrick in 2021, and Matt had been dating Karen Chandler, who used to work on the farm for several years. The couple even got engaged in 2023, and fans thought they were heading toward marriage. But recently, news broke that Matt and Karen have ended their engagement. The reasons haven't been officially confirmed, but rumors suggest that disagreements over the future, particularly involving farm life, retirement plans, and family dynamics, played a big role. Matt hasn't made a big public statement, but sources close to the situation say the split was difficult for him. He had envisioned a quiet, settled life with Karen, possibly even stepping back from the farm to enjoy retirement together. But things didn't turn out the way he planned. And now, in a twist no one saw coming, Matt has started reconnecting with Amy. Not romantically, but in a way that's raised some eyebrows. According to several people close to the Roloff family, Matt and Amy have been spending more time together lately, mostly in connection with the farm. With the family business still very much a central part of their lives, it seems like they've been forced to work more closely again. But there's more to it than just business. Since the breakup, Amy has reportedly made an effort to support Matt emotionally, something that surprises fans, considering how strained their relationship has been in the past. The two had many public disagreements after their divorce, especially over how the farm was handled, and Amy wasn't shy about expressing her frustrations with Matt and Karen during past seasons of Little People, Big World. So, why the sudden shift? Some believe that Amy, now happily married and settled in her own life, has softened over the years. Her relationship with Chris Merrick seems strong, and she's spoken in the past about wanting peace and healing within the family. She's also made it clear that, despite everything, she and Matt share a long history and 4 grown children that will always connect them. That shared history might be what's helping them find common ground again now that Matt is going through a tough time. It's also worth noting that the Roloff family has been going through some transitions lately. With Zach and Tori moving away and distancing themselves from the farm, and Jeremy focusing on his own family projects, Matt and Amy are 2 of the few family members still closely tied to the day-to-day operations of the property. That reality has brought them together again, not necessarily by choice, but by necessity. And maybe, through that renewed contact, they've found a way to relate to each other with less tension. Some fans are even seeing a different side of Matt, one that seems more reflective and maybe even a bit lonely. The end of a serious relationship, especially after so many years, can hit hard. And for someone like Matt, who's always been focused on building, planning, and moving forward, this might be a rare moment of stillness. Amy, having already gone through a divorce and found happiness on the other side, might be the one person who truly understands what he's going through. Even if they weren't the perfect match as a married couple, they did share decades of their lives together. That kind of bond doesn't just disappear. Of course, fans are reacting with mixed emotions. Some are thrilled to see Matt and Amy being friendly again, saying it's nice to see them putting their differences aside and focusing on what really matters: family, peace, and maybe even forgiveness. Others are more skeptical, wondering if this new closeness could stir up old drama. After all, the Roloffs have never been shy about sharing their ups and downs on TV, and emotions tend to run high when it comes to family, especially when the farm is involved. Then there's the question of what this means for the future. Will Matt and Amy continue to work together more closely? Could this mean a new chapter for Little People, Big World? One that focuses more on rebuilding family ties and less on romantic drama? Or is this just a temporary moment of unity during a difficult time? At this point, no one really knows. But what's clear is that something has shifted between Matt and Amy. Whether it's just mutual respect, old memories coming to the surface, or a shared desire to move forward in peace, it's happening. And maybe that's not such a bad thing. Breakups are hard, no matter who you are. And even though Matt and Amy have both moved on in their own ways, life has a funny way of bringing people back into each other's orbit when they least expect it. For now, fans will just have to wait and see where things go. But one thing's for sure, the Roloffs always keep things interesting. Stay tuned, because there's definitely more to come. Matt Roloff has officially confirmed what many fans were starting to suspect. After years of dating and a recent engagement, he and Karen Chandler are no longer together. Yes, it's true. Matt has come forward and made it clear the relationship is over. This news has left many people shocked, especially because the couple seemed so close to taking the next big step. They were engaged, planning a future together, and had even talked about retirement plans and possibly moving to Arizona. So what went wrong? Let's break it down. Matt and Karen had been dating for several years. Karen used to be the manager at Roloff Farms, which is how they first met. After Matt and his ex-wife Amy divorced, he and Karen grew closer, and their relationship slowly became more public. At first, there was some drama, especially since Karen had worked on the farm while Matt and Amy were still married. Despite all that, Matt and Karen seemed to build a strong relationship. They spent holidays together, traveled often, and even purchased property in Arizona, where they talked about settling down in the future. Fans got used to seeing them as a solid couple. So when Matt announced in 2023 that he and Karen were engaged, it felt like a natural next step. They were older, more experienced, and seemed to know what they wanted. But somewhere along the way, things started to change. In recent months, fans started to notice signs of trouble. Karen was appearing less in social media posts. There were fewer mentions of wedding plans, and some fans pointed out that the two didn't seem as connected as they once were. Still, many assumed it was just a quiet period. But now, Matt has confirmed the truth. They've ended their engagement, and their relationship is officially over. He didn't go into great detail, but in a short and clear statement, Matt said that he and Karen had decided to part ways. He called it a mutual decision and said there was no bad blood, just differences in what they both wanted for the future. That part is key. According to sources close to the situation, one of the main issues between them was how differently they viewed the next stage of life. Matt is still deeply connected to Roloff Farms. Even though he's talked about retiring, he's not ready to let go completely. The farm has always been a huge part of his identity. Karen, on the other hand, was reportedly ready to move on. She was excited about spending more time in Arizona, relaxing, and stepping away from the spotlight. She's never seemed as interested in being on TV or dealing with the farm drama. Over time, those differences may have become harder to ignore. Some insiders have said that Karen grew tired of always being connected to farm business and family disagreements. She wanted a quieter life, one that didn't revolve around constant decisions about land, family members, and filming. Meanwhile, Matt remained focused on building, planning, and staying involved with the farm. He even started new construction projects, including his dream home on the property. That alone caused tension, since Karen wasn't interested in moving into that house full-time. Another possible issue was family dynamics. The relationship between Karen and some of Matt's kids, especially Zach and Tori, has always seemed a bit distant. There's no open feud, but there also hasn't been a close connection. That can wear on a relationship, especially when children and grandchildren are involved. So now, after years of being together, Matt and Karen have quietly ended things. There was no big public argument, no dramatic scene, just a calm announcement and a decision to move on. Fans are reacting with a mix of shock and sadness. Some people say they saw it coming, while others are surprised that a couple who seemed so stable has now gone their separate ways. Some fans are also wondering what this means for the future of Little People, Big World. The show has already gone through many changes over the years. With Amy remarried and living off the farm, and Zach and Tori stepping back from filming, Matt and Karen had been two of the main people still involved in the story. Now that they've split, the direction of the show could shift again. It's not clear whether Matt will continue to appear as much, or if the focus will go more toward the farm's future and family relationships. One thing is certain, this is a major change in Matt's life. He's now single again, at a time when many people are settling into retirement. Instead of planning a wedding or relaxing in Arizona, he's focusing on the farm and dealing with a big emotional shift. Breakups are never easy, especially after years of building a life together. For Karen, this could be a chance to finally live the quiet, private life she's been craving. She's already been spending more time away from the farm, and now she's free to choose a path that doesn't include cameras or family tensions. Matt hasn't said what's next for him, but knowing his personality, he's probably already thinking about the next big project. Whether that's expanding the farm, finishing the new house, or focusing on relationships with his children and grandchildren, he always seems to keep moving forward. As for fans, many are wishing both Matt and Karen the best. Breakups are hard, but sometimes they lead to better things. Maybe this will give both of them the space they need to find what truly makes them happy. For now, Matt is keeping things private. He's asked for respect during this time and hasn't gone into deep detail about the breakup. That shows maturity and a desire to move on without creating more drama. At the end of the day, relationships are complicated, especially when they play out in front of cameras and millions of fans. Matt and Karen gave their relationship a real shot, but in the end, they chose to go their separate ways. It's officially over and both are starting new chapters. Whatever comes next, one thing is clear, change is coming again for the Roloff family. And fans will definitely be watching. Roloff Farms is officially back on the market, and this time, it's at a lower price. Yes, the famous farm from Little People, Big World is once again up for sale. But now, the asking price has been reduced, which has people talking. Fans of the show, real estate watchers, and curious viewers are all wondering, why is the property still available, and what's behind the price drop? Let's start with the basics. Roloff Farms has been in the Roloff family for decades. Located in Hillsboro, Oregon, it's not just a regular piece of land. It's the heart of the long-running reality show and holds a lot of family history. Over the years, it's become known for its pumpkin patch, family events, and those iconic scenes from the TLC series. Matt Roloff, the family patriarch, has been in charge of the farm since he and Amy divorced. After their split, they divided the property. Amy sold her portion of the land to Matt and moved into a new home with her now husband, Chris Merrick. Then, in 2022, Matt made a big announcement. He put a portion of Roloff Farms, about 16 acres, up for sale. The asking price at the time was around $4 million. The listing included the main farmhouse, a barn, and several acres of farmland. It was a big move that shocked fans, especially since Matt had previously talked about keeping the farm in the family. But there was drama behind the scenes. Zach and Jeremy, two of Matt and Amy's sons, had both expressed interest in buying the property. However, negotiations reportedly fell through. According to Zach and Tori, things didn't go as planned, and Zach later accused Matt of not being fair with the sale. This created a lot of tension, both within the family and with fans watching the show. After that, Matt decided to list the property publicly. But even after months on the market, the farm didn't sell. There was some interest, but no serious buyers. Eventually, Matt took it off the market and decided to try something else, turning it into a short-term rental. He listed the farmhouse on Airbnb and other platforms. Fans of the show had the chance to stay in the same house they had seen on TV for years. It was a unique idea, and it drew attention. But the rental business may not have worked out exactly as planned. Now, fast forward to today, and the farm is back on the market. This time, the asking price is lower. The property is listed at a reduced price compared to the original $4 million, though the exact current price may vary depending on the listing and updates. So, why the price cut? There are a few possible reasons. First, the real estate market has changed. Interest rates have gone up and fewer people are buying large properties like this. A farm this size, with a lot of history and special features, isn't something that sells quickly, especially at a high price point. Second, it's possible that the short-term rental idea didn't bring in as much income as expected. Managing a rental property is a lot of work, and it might not have been worth the effort in the long run. Third, Matt might be ready to move on. He's mentioned several times that he wants to slow down and retire. The farm has been a huge part of his life, but it also comes with a lot of responsibility. Selling the property, or even just part of it, would give him the freedom to make new choices. It's also important to note that Matt has been building a new house on the farm property, which he once hoped to share with his ex-fiancée Karen Chandler. But since their recent split, those plans may have changed. That could be one more reason why he's now more motivated to sell. For potential buyers, this new listing might be a great opportunity. The farm is well known, beautifully maintained, and full of unique features, including the famous pumpkin season setup that fans love. The home itself is large and full of character. It's been featured in countless episodes of Little People, Big World, and has that rustic, Oregon charm that many buyers are looking for. The land includes rolling fields, trees, and space for animals or farming. Even though it's a public sale, Matt has said in the past that he still wants to find the right person to take over the farm. Someone who will respect the land and maybe even keep some of the traditions alive. Of course, fans are still hoping that a Roloff child might step in and buy the farm after all. But for now, that doesn't seem likely. Zach and Tori have moved away and are raising their family elsewhere. Jeremy and Audrey are working on their own land and business projects. Jacob, the youngest son, has helped on the farm in the past, but there's no public sign that he's planning to take it over either. So the property is open to the public, and now, at a lower price, it might attract more serious buyers. The future of Roloff Farms is uncertain. For years, it's been more than just a family property. It's been a symbol of the Roloff family's journey, full of memories, milestones, and moments that millions of viewers have watched unfold. Selling it, even just a part, feels like the end of an era. But life changes. People grow, relationships shift, and sometimes letting go of the past is the best way to move forward. Matt seems to be making that choice now. Whether the farm sells quickly or sits on the market again remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, fans will be watching closely. They care about the farm, the family, and the story. And this next chapter could be one of the biggest yet. For now, Roloff Farms is back up for grabs at a more affordable price than before, and the door is open for whoever wants to carry on its legacy. Thanks for watching, and if you've made it this far, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more updates on all your favorite reality TV families. Let us know in the comments what you think about Amy's message today and Karen's divorce becoming official. Do you think Matt and Karen will finally get married? Or is there more to this story that we haven't heard yet?